Good afternoon. My name is Monica Hannon, and I wanted to talk to you about a healthy lifestyle. And I want to focus on eating habits. So first, I'd like to start with some of the myths that people believe about choosing a healthy lifestyle and eating right. So one of the, I think the biggest myth is that it's too expensive. And it may look like it's too expensive because if you were to go to a store and look at items and compare the price between a processed food item and a whole food item, yes, the whole food item is probably going to be more expensive. But the reason behind that is because the whole food item actually has the correct ingredients like whole grains and nutrients and vitamins in it, where the processed item is full of preservatives, usually sugar and carbohydrates. So when we look at it that way, when we're going through a supermarket, we think that it's, oh, well, I'd love to eat healthy, but it's too expensive. But the truth of the matter is that that whole grain, that more expensive loaf of bread, for example, has more nutrients in it that actually feeds your body. And when your body is fed by the food you put in it, then you're not as hungry. So you're going to eat less, which means you're going to buy less food. So that processed loaf of bread is full of sugar and carbs. Your body isn't going to be able to use those, and so you're going to be hungry a lot faster. So that's one of the myths that people think is that, oh, well, it's so expensive. Can't you see the difference? Well, the truth is it's actually not. Another myth is that that eating wrong isn't going to change your genetics. Well, correct, it's not going to change your genetics, but it will affect the outcome of your life and that health life expectancy. So just because your father has diabetes, some people think that, oh, well, then I'm going to definitely get diabetes. Well, no. If you eat right and exercise, you're actually lowering your chances of being able to have a genetic trait like that. So one of the other things I want to talk to you about is the pros and cons of choosing a lifestyle. So when I was looking at this, I wanted to be fair, and so I was trying to look at the pros of choosing an unhealthy lifestyle and eating foods that are not good for you. And the only thing I could come up with is that you get to eat what you want, how much you want. Other than that, I was not able to find any more pros to eating unhealthy. So, but I did find a lot of cons why eating unhealthy is not a good idea. So number one, of course, is health problems. 2 is joint pain and pain in your body. 3, higher medical expenses. 4, it can shorten your life. And 5, it will shorten your health life expectancy. So now for the pros of eating right. Well, those are endless. I can't list all of them. But some of them definitely are eating the foods you enjoy, because some people think that if you eat right and healthy that you don't get to eat the food that you enjoy. Not necessarily true. There are good healthy foods that we enjoy to eat. Then there's also having better health, lower medical expenses, a longer life, and lengthening that health life expectancy, which we're going to talk about again a little bit later on. So one of the things that I found, which was very concerning, is that as a whole, not as individuals, but as a whole, we have decided as a country to eat unhealthy, which that's a whole other topic. Now, some may say, well, how can you say that we as a country have decided to eat unhealthy? Well, the statistics prove it. 1 out of 3 American adults are obese. Not just overweight, obese. 17% of our children and adolescents are obese. And these are statistics from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Also, we're starting to see chronic illness in children that usually would only take place in adults, like high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes. So at the University of Georgia, they did some research and they found that the average American life expectancy is 77 years. But the average healthy life expectancy is only 67 years. So in this country, the last 10 years of our lives are basically in and out of hospitals, medications. We're not healthy those last 10 years. So when you think about it, everyone's like, oh, well, when you get old, that's just what happens. But we're talking about being mobile, being able to get around, being able to do the things you like to do. And when you think about you work your whole entire life and then you retire, right now the average retirement is 60 to 65. And by the time you retire, you're retiring just in time to be sick for the next 10 years of your life. So we would really like to think that maybe if we take care of ourselves and we eat right, those last 10 years, we can actually enjoy our retirement and do the things we would like to do. So those are just some things that you may want to think about. There are some short-term and long-term benefits to eating right. Short-term is day-to-day. The foods you put in your body, when your body, if you suffer from a lot of indigestion, a lot of digestive problems, even problems with your skin and your hair and everything, that's your body trying to say that it's not liking what you're putting in it. So those are the short-term benefits, is when you eat right, you feel better from every day. Long-term is the rest of your life, you can be healthier. You can have that longer health life expectancy. So the other benefits of eating right is it lowers your risk of high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, having osteoporosis, and also certain types of cancer. So when we eat processed foods or foods that have been genetically altered, we are raising our chances of certain cancers. So if you're when you're thinking about the fact that it lowers your chances of certain risks of illnesses and cancers, there you are again, saving yourself money. When you're sick, or you have all of these illnesses like high blood pressure, diabetes, oh, I have to take this for my joints and I have to take that for my heart. Those are expensive. Those things cost you money. So again, this myth that eating healthy is more expensive, totally out the window. If you're not eating healthy, can you imagine what your hospital bills are going to be in the future, and your prescriptions and everything else that goes along with poor health? What you have to ask yourself is, what do I want out of my life? Am I living the life that I want to live? Am I able to enjoy the things that I would like to enjoy? If you find that you don't have the energy, or that you just don't feel well, you suffer from headaches or stomach pains, or that you have joint pain, even at your age, you may want to sit down and think, okay, well, what am I feeding my body? Am I giving my body the nutrition that it needs in order to function? The biggest thing that you want to remember, though, too, is that this is your decision. This is a choice that you have to make at every meal. You have to decide, do I want the fried chicken or the grilled chicken? Now, that doesn't mean you don't get to cheat sometimes and enjoy that fried chicken or have that piece of cake, but it's just moderation. Eating right the majority of the time and having treats like a piece of cake or some cookies or ice cream or that slice of pizza. Those are supposed to be treats. Those aren't things that are supposed to go into our body every day and we expect our body to live off of. But for some reason here in the United States, that is what we've adopted. We've adopted this idea that these foods, these high processed, filled with preservative foods, are food, and they're not. No other developed country in the world eats the way that Americans eat. So that's what I want to leave you with. I want you to think about the decision, and that it's up to you, and that are you living the life that you would like to live? And if not, then do something about it, and you have that power. No one else does. Well, thank you for your time.